Hey everyone, so this is about our 5th week in the Kingdom series. We're almost wrapped up, second to last week, and this week is about seeking God's kingdom. And we talked about using kingdom goggles, right? Like you remember when you watch a 3D movie and you have to have the glasses on, otherwise you can't tell. Or if you've been to a store, or maybe your family's awesome and you have one of those like 3D TVs, like it looks really weird if you're not wearing the glasses when you're watching it, right? And in the same way, God created this amazing world that we live in. But if we're not looking at it through His eyes, it doesn't look right. So this week we kind of talked about how the kingdom of this world, remember, is different than God's kingdom. It says things are normal that God does not think are normal, right? We talked about last week about the fight and all the stuff that is wrong with this world that we have to fight against. And this week, it's pretty much the same thing, except for what's normal in this world. Not only is it like sin and bad stuff, but it's also just complaining, right? Like complaining. We love to complain. Like it's an easy thing to do. Or when you look at a situation, it's easier to see the negative parts of it, like the kingdom of this world would want. That's what's normal. But God's kingdom, He wants us to see the beauty in the things that He created in the situations of life. So, it says in Matthew, Jesus says, seek first God's kingdom and His righteousness. And righteousness just means living the kind of life that honors God in everything that you do. So seek first God's kingdom and then try and live it out. So if we're in the kingdom of this world and we're complaining about our situations and the stuff we see all around us, we're not really living out God's kingdom. We're not living out righteousness. We might be seeking His kingdom, but we're not doing that second part, the righteousness, right? So this week, I want you guys to think about what's a way that something that I complain about, and what is something I can do to see something good in it, right? And we get this idea from Paul. He was writing a letter, and at the end of his letter, he says, as I close this letter, it's in Philippians, he writes this to his church, it's chapter 4, verse 8. And he says, now, dear brothers, as I close this letter, let me say one more thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and good and right. Think about things that are pure and lovely, and dwell on fine, good things in others. So Paul is saying, think about good things, things that are true and positive, things that are good and right, not just the negative stuff all the time. Think about things that are pure and lovely. He says, dwell on the good stuff in other people, not all of other people's faults, right? It's so easy for us to look at people and tear them down and be like, well, that person just does that all the time, and they're so annoying, oh my gosh. Paul's saying, find the good in them, right? Find the good in other people. And he says, and then he finishes by saying, think about all you can praise God for and be glad about, right? It's just an amazing exercise. Take some time, grab a piece of paper, write down all the stuff you're thankful for, all the stuff that God gives you, right? This week, we're going to just challenge you to put on some kingdom goggles and look at the world in a different way. Not in complaining or thinking bad about other people, but looking for God in things, looking for God in the stuff around us, in the situations around us, and asking God, how can we show His love in those situations that we're dying to complain about? That actually was our experiment in our small groups. Pick something that you want to complain about. A lot of people picked certain classes at school. Spanish was a especially good one, and stuff that they want to complain about that class. So find something good that either you're learning in it, or something good about the teacher maybe, or something that you just want to complain about a whole lot. And do something to change it this week. Ask God to show you something good and positive that comes from that. Because remember, we're supposed to think about things that are good, true, pure, lovely, and right. Thanks, guys. Love you. God bless.